Hey, Chidorin. I was already anticipating you. Here we go. I think everything's fine. It looks fine on my end at least. So let's jump right back in. I think this is about the mystery or something. Yeah, so Yuzu had some bad feeling and it was right on the mark. Okay, let's see. What was the harm? What's happening? Hey there. Hi. So, a certain friend who I seem to be hanging out with a lot lately tells me she's already heard. It seems everyone starts to get hurt in these mysteries. Was there at least a single one where people didn't get hurt? I don't think so. Of course she is. She passes me a cup of coffee, then hands one to my singing coach too.
ありがとう。その話は私も耳にしたけど、私は襲われかけて怪我をしたのだと聞いたわ。そりゃ話を持ってるんだよ。襲われかけたってのは主観だろ。実際のところ、白い影を見て襲われると思い込んで慌てて転んだってのがオチじゃないのか。確かに怪談話に尾ひれがつくのはよくあることだ。そういうこと。でもそれだとおかしいわ。
My coach tilts her head, glaring down into the amber liquid in her cup.
何がだよ。だってこの学院の怪異はすべからくさらうのでしょ。足をくじいた獲物がいたのなら学校の的じゃない。なぜ逃がしたの？それはこの事件を七不思議の一つ、森をさまようウェンディゴだとして話しているからだ。はい？前提として怪物のせいだとしている。誰かの悪ふざけだと話していない。少し前のフックマンのようにね。
I hadn't meant to trouble her. Yet through Yaegaki-kun's window, I glimpse a secret that she wants to keep hidden. She's covering for someone again.
そうですね。そうでした。確かに誰かの悪ふざけなら納得だわ。だが悪ふざけとなると疑問が残る。何がですか？この寒い中、森の中で誰が来るともわからないのに驚かそうと待ち構えているバカがいるってことになるからだよ。
Both Takasaki-kun and I lapse into thought at Yaegaki-kun's frank critique.
そんな効率の悪いいたずら、佐々木さんたちでもしなさそうね。だろ。だから私としては見間違いや弱気の虫から見せているんだと思って。複数の目撃情報からそれも怪しくなった。1件2件だけなら僕も幽霊の正体見たりカレオバナ的な話かと思ったんだけどね。
However, with multiple sightings, it seems more likely that this white shadow, whatever it is, does actually exist.
ウェンディゴか愉快犯か。ロマンとしてはウェンディゴをしたいところだが、二階屋の会としてはどうするつもりなんです？怪我人が出ているとの話は耳に入れてなかったからね。遅い時間の森への立ち入りは控えるようにすると。が実害が出た今となってはですか？僕から会に中心するつもりはないが、合唱会に水を差されたくない。孝行の憂いは立っておきたいところ。
Hey, Yuri Yuzuri, how's it going? Even as I say it, I see the twins' face as she'd explained how the gossip about Wendigo had originated with the first years.
今回の件、バスキア教諭は何と言っているんだい？特には暗くなってから森に近寄らないようには言ってましたけどね。
Wouldn't that be already a thing? Like, shouldn't they already not be allowed in the woods after dark?
なんだ？
Even if this isn't quite the same as the shapeshifter of the dorms incident, it strikes me as odd that she wouldn't care at all.
処置仲間も気にしていたようだしな。今何か言った？何も。 どうです八代先輩、一丁ウェンディゴ退治と行きますか？
佐々木くんたちからも誘われたよ。ウェンディゴの森の探索をね。
Yaigaki-kun says that sounds just like them, her mouth curving into a feline smile.
さて、どう動くとするか。
八代先輩、楽しそうですね。
Despite my bad feelings striking right before the choral contest, I can't stop the cynical smile from spreading across my face.
ウェンディゴの捜索か。
Saying it out loud causes a bubble of laughter to well up from my stomach. The wandering Wendigo of the woods. How many people seriously go out monster hunting?
赤飯を炊かれた女がすることじゃないよな。
A girl who's already surfed the crimson wave? What is that supposed to mean? I smile self-deprecatingly. Of course you do.
ゆずりは先輩、遅いですよ。早く行かないと暗くなってしまいます。
Warm fingers curl themselves around my hand. This. My other hand is grasped too.
君たちは迎えてないかもしれないから、ロマンを追う資格があるのかもね。
What does this mean? The Sasaki sisters look up at me curiously.
失礼なものの考え方をしたな。非礼を浴びるよ。
Still holding onto my hands, they stare at me in confusion. I think back on this morning's events. An urgent knock had sounded on my door just as I was enjoying a lie-in on the Sabbath. Jerked out of my dream, I dragged my lethargic body out of bed and opened the door to find...
さあ、七不思議の探索に行きましょう。
Ahoy! The Sasaki twins holding baskets and beaming up at me.
まあ、合唱会前にコウコの憂いを立っておこうと思っていたしな。
コウコ？
誘ってもらってよかったってことさ。自分一人だと尻が重たくてフォークリフトでもなければ動かせないところだった。
私たちがフォークリフトですか？
そういうこと。悩んではいたんだけどね。
今日は私が作ったお弁当を食べてもらいますよ。
探索じゃなくてハイキングがてらかい？遊びに行くノリなのかな？
せっかくなら楽しいことはたくさん詰め込んだ方がいいですからね。
She squeezes my hand. Her openness warms my heart.
せっかくの安息日を部屋でダラダラしていても無意な休日だったろうしね。気持ちを切り替えていこうか。
そうですよ。さすがにもう栗拾いはできませんけど、いろいろ見て。あ、うさぎさんだ。
Rabbits. Ringoken squeezes my hand tightly. I follow her gaze.
どこに？
The undergrowth rustles, and Ichigo-kun and I spot a flash of white, out of place amidst the russet and ash tones of the forest.
あれって、もしかして夏に逃がしちゃったウサギさん？
Startled by her voice, the white rabbit rockets off into the woods like a shot.
私が大きな声を出したから。いやいや、今のは私的なせいだよ。うまくいけばもふれたかもしれないのに。
野生動物だから手なずけるのはなかなか難しいと思うよ。
Yeah.
姿が見られただけでも。
That's true.
幸先いいってことですかね。話ではこの森ってたくさん動物さんがいるって聞いてましたけど。
キツネやタヌキ、ニホンジカなども生息しているそうだよ。僕は森に行くことが少ないから見たことはないけどね。
そんなに多くの種類の動物が。はあ、餌付けとかしたい。
大きなイノシシも見られ。
やっぱりいいです。
I can't help but laugh at her quick declaration. She feigns anger for a moment before she and Ringoken both happily readjust their grips on my hands.
それじゃ早く行きますですよ。お昼を食べに。
Our little excursion has turned into quite the Sunday picnic. Oh
どう
god.
ぞ。私的な自信作です。
Bear, look away. Ah. Oh my god. Oh god, that looks amazing. Ugh, I haven't had tamagoyaki in forever. Oh, yeah. As soon as we reached the spot where the white shadow was sighted, the packed lunch is spread out before me.
まずウェンディゴを探すんじゃないのかい？
探すのが遅くなってもウェンディゴは逃げたりしません。
Since we set off pretty late to start with, it's already way past lunchtime. But still...
私としても用意したデザートが入っているんです。
Hearing that, Ringo-kun has slipped her own desserts into her sister's basket.
僕が欲しいものはそのカバンの中に何でも入っているみたいだ。
メリーポピンズみたいでしょ。
Seems like they've been covering both modern and classic movies.
ま、逃げないってのは道理だな。
To be honest, my stomach is already loudly protesting its lack of lunch. The colorful spread of fresh food convinces me that a short break is most definitely warranted.
それじゃあいただこうかな。
The twins chorus their agreement. Before starting, I say grace.
父よ、あなたの慈しみに感謝してここに用意されたものを祝福し、私たちの心と体を支える糧としてください。私たちの主イエス・キリストによって。アーメン。
I wrap up the prayer.
外でもしっかりお祈りするなんて、なんだかキリスト教の信者みたいですね。
しっかり洗礼も受けた教徒だよ、僕は。
The girls seem surprised. I get it, it's weird for me to think of myself as a believer too.
さて、それではどれからいただこうかな。
She immediately shoves the sandwich at me. I accept it without argument and take a bite. Tuna.
ん、
美味しいですか？
ああ、僕の好きな具材をよく知っていたね。
最近八重垣ちゃんと仲いいですよね。だから八重垣ちゃんから教えてもらったんです。
そうか。
The only sandwich filling I really dislike is tuna. Wait, did Erika play a prank on her? What? I'm confused. Am I tired or did I not read this right? There's just something about the smell and the weird texture.
八重垣くんの前で告白したのは間違いだったか。
Yeah, she played a prank on her. Okay.
どうしたんです？
いや、こっちの具材は何だい？
BLT サンドです。
Oh, that sounds amazing. I feel like I found a single ray of light in a sea of endless darkness. I reach out for it.
それは私的に食べようと作ってきたものですよ。
ツナサンドも美味しかったからね。いろいろな味を試してみたいんだよ。ダメかい？
She quickly assures me it is and hands me the BLT. There's seriously no better combination when it comes to sandwich fillings.
リンゴくんが作ってきたものは何かな？
プリンとドーナツです。
Ah, this is pudding. Okay, very nice.
そいつは美味しそうだ。量もたっぷりある。こちらもいただくとしよう。
Surreptitiously nudging the tuna sandwich over to Ichigo-kun, I stuffed the last of the BLT into my mouth and reached for a donut.
それは食後のデザートですよ。
僕は美味しいものは一時に食べたいタイプなんだよ。
I tell her as I take a bite out of the sugar-dusted ring. I lay on my back and look up. Puffy rows of clouds still stretch across the blue expanse above me. While not endless like the summer sky, nor as clear as they are in winter, I love the calm skies of autumn.
食べてすぐ寝るのは良くないですよ。
食休みだよ。君たちもどうだい？
I'm so relaxed that the words just slip out. Then... Oh, My heart. This is so cute. Oh. Oh. The leaves are so pretty. I feel a pleasant warmth and weight settle onto my outstretched arms.
リンゴくん。
ゆずりは先輩から誘われたんじゃ乗らないわけにはいかないよね、リンゴ。はい。
Seeing her relaxed face turned up towards the sky, eyes closed, I think to myself that this is the essence of a lazy Sunday.
行儀の悪い真似だが、今日くらいは主もお見逃しになられるだろう。
反則日だものね。どうしたんです？
いや、君たちと知り合えて本当に良かったと思って。
Use it in her wives. Oh, it's so cute though.
いや、そう言っていただけると嬉しいですな。私としてもです。私的にもですよ。
It's a particular virtue these two possess. They can worm their way into anyone's heart.
お腹がいっぱいになって眠くなってきたな。
さすがに眠るまで行くと太っ
Oh,
ちゃい
stop
ます
talking
よ。
about it. Made me yawn too.
リンゴくんのデザートは格別だった。あれだけ甘いものを食べたからね。
フォークリフトでもないと持ち上がらない。
そうだね。
Oh, so cute. I get it.
私のサンドイッチは？
もちろん最高だった。
Yeah, especially the tuna. That may be a white lie, but surely God will forgive me for it. It is his day off after all.
次はプレッツェルが食べたい。
That's a good one.
ラプンツェル？
Rapunzel.
八重垣くんも美味しそうだけどね。最近映画の中で食べているのを見てね。
では今度用意することにしますです。
楽しみにしておくよ。
ゆずりは先輩って意外と甘いものとか好きですよね。
意外か。別に嫌っている風なところを見せたことはないんだけどね。
多分コーヒー好きだからだと思いますですよ。
Ah, there it is again. I nod in understanding. I drink it black so I can truly appreciate the flavor of the beans.
でもそういえばお茶会の時でもパンケーキ普通に食べていましたもんね。
甘党と言えるほど好きではないけど、普通の女子と同じ程度には好んでいるよ。だがそうか。ネリーと共にしているから印象がないのかもな。
確かにそっちに目がいっちゃいますもんね。
I close my eyes and think of my best friend, who has a bottomless stomach when it comes to sweet.
キリスト教徒的には退職は7つの大罪だな。
ゆずりは先輩は将来ダリア先生みたいにシスターを目指すのですか？
勘弁してくれ、禁欲だぞ。キスも満足にできない。
The twins must think I'm joking because I can hear them chuckling on either side of me. I realize that when I'm around her, when I'm around both of these two, my handle on myself momentarily slips. It's like a strong wind has gusted through my brain, blowing away the words I was trying to hang on to. I gaze up at the clouds, searching for the words I've lost, then...
眠ってしまったのか。
Nettie really takes the cake, all of them. Yes, yes she does. I smile down at the two figures, their chests moving in line with their deep, regular breathing.
眠ると太ってしまうと言ってただろうに。
I'm about to snicker out loud, but seeing their adorable sleeping faces removes the urge. I can't deny that. If you're going to take an afternoon nap, there's no better day for it. My own eyelids slide shut, lulled by their rhythmic breathing. There's a slight chill to the breeze that caresses my upturned face. I can smell the first scents of winter in the wind. Suspended between warmth and cold, I fall into a soft sleep. Ay, ay, ay.
さすがにゆっくりしすぎたか。
Due to our impromptu siesta, we've barely gotten any Wendigo hunting in before the sun starts to set.
最近は日が落ちるのが早くなったとはいえ。
I think we took it too easy. Although, looking at it from another perspective, most sightings of the White Shadow reportedly happened precisely around this time of the day. So it may not be such a bad idea to begin the real hunt right now, right?
よかった探しか。ポリアンナ物語じゃないんだぞ。
I don't know this reference. I'm about to suggest we should head back, but then... Hearing Ichigo-kun cry out as though she's been hit on the head out of nowhere, I instantly rush over to her.
これは
Sorry.
食べ残しか。
鹿さんとかが食べたんですかね。
How did a deer get potatoes and carrots? Ichigo-kun sounds delighted, but one glance at the scattered leftovers is enough to tell me they don't belong here.
人参にじゃがいも。おかしいぞ。
Nibbled on bits and pieces are strewn across the ground, but I've never heard of vegetables growing in the wild out here. Which means something must have dug them up from the allotments and dragged them out here, but...
二階屋の階でそんな報告は受けていない。
Well, then someone just properly took them from there and brought them here.
へえ、鹿さんって人参食べるんですね。
Her relaxed tone almost distracts me from the
いち
mystery.
ごくん、君は学院の畑が。
Knowing she's a fount of school gossip, I'm about to ask if she's heard anything when the when the words die in my throat. Something more obvious is staring me in the face. Oh god, what? Weirder than these conspicuous vegetables is the fact that her twin failed to come running when Ichigo-kun let out that cry of shock. I look around and find her immediately. Ringo-kun is frozen stock still, a shaking finger pointed toward where the dappled orange light is dancing between the swaying trees.
何急に。
Flickering behind the trees is a white shadow. Ichigo-kun's shriek breaks the spell.
待て。
As the Wendigo slinks off, I give chase. I don't know how far I've run.
くそ。
八代先輩。先輩。
When I finally break out of the trees and onto the path leading back to the academy, I am forced to admit that I've lost the trail. I stop and glare around. Hey, Matsu-chan.
先輩。
How are you?
ウェンディゴは。
見失ってしまった。情けない。
八代先輩よりも足が速いなんて本物の怪異かも。
いや、言い訳だが、こいつが足に絡みついたおかげで取り逃がしてしまったんだ。
これって袋？
In the moment when I'd been distracted by the fabric at my feet, the thing had vanished like a puff of smoke dissipating into the air.
七不思議の怪異はさらうと聞いています。この津田袋はさらった生徒を入れるための。
You put the students in and you kidnap them in a sack. Okay, Rinko. Oh, I'm glad to hear that, Matsu-chan. I'm alright. Just had a long day at work and I'm kind of tired, but other than that, things are good. Keeping one ear on the twins' chatter, I glance back into the dim depths of the forest. Finally making its appearance, the moon shines down on the silent forest as though mocking me. A few days after our search for the wandering Wendigo of the woods.
参ったな。
I muttered to myself as I cast my eyes over the pages of the Council of Nicaea's journal. True to the adage that there's no stopping gossip, the news that we've encountered the Wendigo had already spread through the student population. The cat had been out of the bag the moment I decided to take other people along with me. I mean, it's also the people that you were with, because if, yeah, they're gonna spread it around. I don't intend to try and figure out who it was that blabbed, but...
まさか幽霊譚ではなく、不審者との噂話に変わってしまうとはね。
The white shadow we saw matched up with tales of the Wendigo. However, the sack I found shattered the illusion of a spirit and brought home the corporeal reality of a human interloper.
まあ、幽霊が袋持参でうろつくのもおかしな話だしな。
Santa Claus comes to mind. But we're a mission school. We wouldn't want to classify a saint as an evil spirit. Santa Claus is a saint? Okay.
確かに学院周辺に不審者がうろついているのは由々しき問題だ。だが、もっと問題なのは。
Realizing that my eyes are drifting over the words without taking any of them in, I shoved the journal away. Time has blown up just like the shapeshifter of the dorms. Sorry, not time. What am I reading? This has blown up just like the shapeshifter of the dorms. I'm tired, excuse me. My brain plays tricks on me. Guess we're gonna have to postpone the choral contest. Oh no. It's not yet certain. Right now, we're still just dealing with rumors. I bet they're not gonna postpone anything. It's always like, oh, this thing is in danger before we figure out the mystery, and then they figure it out and this thing is not gonna be in danger anymore. Just like the Halloween party and other stuff. But at the time of the shapeshifter incident, Sister Basket advised me to cancel the Halloween party. I should of course expect the same this time.
ネリーとの合唱を邪魔させるものか。
I like that she draws motivation from that. Determined to resolve the incident as soon as possible, I sink my teeth into the hot dog I brought along with me for lunch. I made my way here, thinking it might prove helpful in my investigations, only to find...
二人で密会かい？
やっちろ先輩ごきげんよう。
Our resident library sprite is joined by Hanabishi-kun, who reacts to my appearance with excessive surprise. I regard the two
な
of
んだ
them.
もしかして本当に密会かい？ここは公の場だ。わきまえてくれたまえよ。
I don't know what a thrice is. But I also feel like I don't need to know.
違いますよ。少し調べ物をしていて。
調べ物？一体な。
I crane my neck, but Hanabishi-kun blocks my view of the books lying on the table. I wouldn't call it a pile, but there are enough tomes to tell me they've been digging deep into something.
花火師くん、別に恥ずかしがることはないんだよ。
はい？
僕たちくらいの年頃の娘が興味を持ったとしたって、なんら恥ずかしくないんだ。だから、性の不思議についての本を見せてごらん。
Ah, a date. Ah, okay. I thought she was implying, like, more stuff. But she's no longer implying, she's just saying it out loud.
違います。
In the fervor of her denial, she's about to spill the title, however. It's pronounced Trist? Trist, okay. In Romanian, that word means sad. Just, it has nothing to do with anything, but it's funny. Suokun's silent look shuts her up. Her cheeks flush. The sprite of the library still hasn't said a word.
まあ確かにただで対価を得ようというのはフェアじゃない。一つ条件を出そう。
条件？
ああ、花火師くんたちが調べていたものを教える代わりに、僕も抱えている秘密を教えようじゃないか。それでどうだい
？Since when are they interested in her secrets? They're not the Ichigo and Ringo here.
秘密？
It's a tempting offer for her, given how desperately she covets certain information I hold. Ah, okay, I see.
そうだな。 フェアに名字がアイウェオ順から真実を吐露していくことにしよう。
あいうえお？卑怯ですよ、八代先輩。
Yeah, she is at the end. No matter how you spin it. I laugh to show that I'm joking, and Silken manages an awkward smile.
クラスの中で噂になっているウェンディゴのことを少し調べていたんです。
She admits as she holds up the book to show me.
これは精神病理について書かれた本だね。
はい、精霊としてのウェンディゴを調べていく過程でウェンディゴツキという精神疾患を見つけたんです。
Oh, that's a thing? Interesting. She opens the book to a particular page and passes it to me, indicating the relevant passage.
この精神疾患は特定の文化依存型の精神病で発症のメカニズムは不明のようです。ただ冬場の発症率が高く気候によるストレスや食材の偏りから来る栄養不足などが原因ではないかと考えられています。
へえ。
はじめは気分の落ち込みと食欲の低下が見られるそうです。次にウェンディゴに取りつかれたという思いが頭を占めるようになり、
That sounds creepy.
ウェンディゴに変貌してしまうという強い恐怖と不安感とともに次第に周りの人間が食べ物に見えるようになり、
Okay, now that sounds ridiculous.
言わなくていい。わかった。
Pretty gnarly stuff. Despite supposedly already knowing all this, I can see Hanabishikun turning green.
それにしてもなぜウェンディゴを？もしかして怪我をしたという生徒は君の？
いえ、そういうわけではなく、
She flushes and looks to Hanabishikun beside her.
リカさんが合唱会が中止になってしまうかもしれないって。
そうか。花火師くん、君は素晴らしいアミティアを持ったね。
はい。リカさん。
I can't help but smile as she twists her fingers together bashfully, her cheeks pink. How nice it would be if I too could come up and say I was doing all this for my friend.
それで、スオ君は犯人に目星はつけているのかい？
For some reason, a conflicted look passes across her face. After a long pause, she admits that she has.
犯人が分かっているって本当なの？もしかしたら、
Oh, so sorry about that.
もし
Voice.
かしたら彼女と同じように病から起こしたことなのかもと調べてみたのですが、
その様子では空振りだった。
八代先輩、ウェンディゴが落としたという袋はご自分で預かっているのですよね。
The sack is the culprit. Yeah.
ああ、証拠品として残しているよ。
ならその袋をもう一度よく調べてください。
A good person is someone who is not wicked. Accordingly, to be a good person, one must not do wicked things. As I'm mulling over the sprite of the library's puzzling words, I'm reminded of a line from Rinkitink in Oz. Rinkitink, sorry. I don't know this, but perhaps... Like Sokun, I already know.
ゆずりは
A voice pulls me out of my reverie.
ネリー君。
I realize I've already arrived in front of the school building.
もう先に行っちゃうなんて待っててって言ったのに。
ああ、そうだったね。すまない。
Although I apologize, I don't recall making any such promise. Running a hand along my ponytail, I let out a small sigh.
まるで魔女の謎かけに悩む勇者のようだな。
ねえゆずりは、今悩んでいることって七不思議のこと？
さて、どうだろうね。
きちんと答えて、私になら話せるでしょ？
何も心配することなんてないんだよ、ネリー。僕たちの合唱会にケチはつけさせない。
Bear got activated at the sound of a witch's riddle. 私
は、あら、
珍しいところで会いますね。
Oh, Sister Basket. A voice interrupts from behind my back.
今まで合唱の練習をしていたのですか？ええ、そうです。遅くまで偉いわ。合唱会楽しみにしてますね。
Okay. Does not look like she has intentions of cancelling it. She seems happy to continue chatting with us. It's strange to me that her attitude seems so different to during that whole drama of the shapeshifter of the dorms.
バスキア教諭、一つ質問があるのですが。伺いましょう。七不思議の一つ、森をさまようウェンディゴの件ですが、教諭方の耳には入っているのですよね。ゆずりは。
Neri frowns reproachfully at me for broaching such a risky subject. It's true that this may not be the wisest approach, but I have to check.
ええ、学院の森に不審者が現れたという話は聞いています。それに驚き、怪我をした生徒がいることも。
Sister Basket's breath catches in her throat for a moment before she nods.
初版の事情を考えれば、合唱会は中止、延期でもやむなしだと思うので。中止だなんて。
Sister Basket looks away toward the sunset gilded school building before returning her gaze to me and looking me straight in the eyes. Ay, I'm so sorry. I get the feeling that she, like me, is trying to peer through the windows of my eyes into the room beyond.
合唱会の中止はありえません。
Oh?
不審者の話は看過できる話ではありません。ですから、教諭、学院に従事するスタッフみんなで見回りを強化することにしました。二階屋の会の頭は素通りですか？こと不審者に生徒は近づかせません。この件は私たち教諭でしっかり対処するので、合唱会では憂いなく存分に力を振るってください。
Sister Basket lays it out for us.
はい、よかったわね、ゆずりは。
I offer her a faint smile in return as she beams at me and takes my hand. However,
どうにもオズの魔法使いの言葉が浮かび上がる。
at the same time, like when you think about it, canceling the Halloween party because of the issue that was happening in the sewing room had a little bit more sense behind it, because students were going to the room to make their costumes for the Halloween party, right? So if there was concern about that and they would not allow them to go there anymore, then of course they would have to cancel the party, or they would cancel the party so that they wouldn't have a reason to go in there anymore. But here, the choral thing and something that's happening in the woods feels a little bit disconnected, because how would the students be put at risk by participating in this? If they're not participating in this, they're still around the school doing something, because like it's not like they're gonna evaporate away from the like the space where the school is, right? They're still gonna be there. So it also, like, what would it achieve to cancel the event? I don't see it, so yeah. Alright. Still not convinced, I bow my head to Sister Basket and thank her.
さて、魔女。いや、図書室の妖精の申し付けだったな。
Reclining on my bed, I stare at the sack dropped by the Wendigo. There's not much to say about it, it's just a dirty old sack.
既製品ではないようだが。
Is that how the vegetables were brought? I examined the sack from every angle, but it reveals nothing of interest. No bloodstains or scrawled messages.
だが、スオ君は無駄な中心はしない。
I hold the cards. She wouldn't send me on a wild goose chase. I hold the fabric in one hand and flap it around absent-mindedly. I reflexively squeeze my eyes shut as bits of dust and debris fall from the sack and land on my upturned face. Why would you do that above your face? Just do it to the side. What?
なんだってんだ。
Picking up one of the bits that landed on the bed, I murmured to myself.
これは葉っぱか
It's hard to tell since the pieces are so small, but it seems to be a mix of soil and plant scraps. A closer examination of the bits of stalk, skin, and leaves leads me to the conclusion that they come from vegetables. So there we go.
ウェンディゴが野菜泥棒
My cynical smirk splits my features.
いや、今となってはウェンディゴはロマンを失い不審者だ。野菜泥棒ならズダ袋を持っていた理由がつく。
If they were stealing vegetables, there's the reason for them to have a sack. Yeah, alright. Still, then please take another good look at it. I haven't examined it thoroughly enough yet. I open the sack and probe inside. It's dirty, bits of the same soil and debris clinging to the fabric.
土がついていて正解なんだよな。
Being a bit of a clean freak, I loathe to do so, but I steel myself and reach a hand inside to feel around. I'd missed it the first time I checked it over, thinking it was all just dirt and detritus, but sure enough, there are more vegetable scraps. Hey, Polly Plushie. Hello. Welcome. Spurred on by my underclassman's words, I force myself to run my fingers over the muddied fabric, making sure I haven't missed anything else.
これは
The mud had probably stuck to the fabric when damp, and here, where it's dried and flaked off,
血か
there's a dark stain that stands out against the various browns of the dirt and mud. As I rub my finger over it, I can almost hear the puzzle pieces slotting together in my mind.
ああ、なるほど、そういうことか。
The riddle set for me by the sprite of the library has brought all the pieces into place. I mean, I'm glad. Just tell me what it is. Now it's time to try to pin down the origin of the wandering Wendigo of the woods. Nice alliteration there in the title, by the way. I have concluded that a person is behind the incident, and their actions just happen to line up with one of the 7 mysteries. So, if I scrutinize the information I've gleaned so far, that culprit should be revealed. There are 2 main pieces to the puzzle. One identified by Suokun, and one that I discovered. The first piece is the bits of vegetables left in the sack, the fact that the sack is white, the fact that the sack is big enough to hold a person, the stain on the sack. I don't know, the vegetables or the stain? The vegetables is the answer. Okay, the vegetables. Okay. The second piece is the fact that the sack is white, the fact that the sack is big enough, the stain on the sack. Okay. I mean, the fact that the sack is white could be the white shadow, right? Sack being enough to hold a person, like... I wouldn't go there. The stain, maybe, but I can't imagine what it is. If it's blood or something, I don't know. So I'd say I did these 2, but... The stain. The stain is the answer. Okay. There's the thing that occurred in Yagaki-kun's room. And that's related to something else that happened at the academy while I was laid up in bed with a cold. And then there's the bits of half-eaten vegetables thrown around the scene, which connect the Wendigo incident to a seemingly unrelated activity. That activity? Recycling, pranking, a cover-up. I don't think there's pranking or a cover-up, but recycling? Huh? Yeah, I should save as well. Okay. I don't know what this is going. I love it when they put sinister answers in these. Yeah, it's so confusing. Recycling. Okay. That's right, the truth has been playing out in plain sight. An activity so mundane no one would give it a second thought. And the final thing that's been on my mind is Sister Basket's response. The choral contest won't be cancelled. What's the true meaning she can read into that line? We can read into that line. The show will go on because She knows the truth. Sister Basket is the culprit. She's being threatened by the culprit. I think she knows. She seems very calm and reassured, so I think she knows more than she lets on. Yeah. Yeah, that's the one. Okay. Okay, we've answered these questions, but I still don't know what's happening. This is the case for all of the mysteries. I run through my reasoning once more to check that it all fits together properly. The conclusion I've arrived at seems way too simple. Still, it's an answer that couldn't be reached without all of the right puzzle pieces. Up until now, I've been trying to put it together with odd pieces handed to me here and there. Only Suo-kun would be capable of completing it under those constraints. Like Yaegaki-kun, I needed the full picture to coax out the answer. First, I have to get her testimony. Then, as I gaze up at the ceiling, wondering how I'm going to put a lid on all this, I think of her. Of who? It's the dead of night. The lobby sits silent. It feels like me and the fish swimming quietly in their tank are the only living creatures in the world. The silence is so oppressive that a persistent high buzzing noise fills my ears, faint but impossible to ignore. I heard about Yaegaki-kun's efforts from Neri and the Sasaki's. She's probably remolding this incident to suit her own needs. Why would she do that? I am so confused. If she who sought the truth is concealing it, it's surely for another's sake rather than her own. Maybe I should have taken a leaf out of Yaegaki-kun's book? It's a bit late to be thinking like that now, though, when I've already called her out here. And yet... I see my best friend's face in my mind's eye, followed by my father's and my mother's. As I'm wondering why that is, all of a sudden... Seeing a silhouette appear in the glass of the fish tank, I slowly turn around. She's standing there, her skin blushed like a rose, her hair a bright blonde. Neri, dressed in a white robe, she regards me with melancholy eyes. Ah no, it's Sister Basket, what? I didn't expect that you could ask Sister Basket to meet you late at night. And she would be like, yeah, sure, let's meet in the dead of night, instead of like, I don't know, during any moment of the day. She looks nervous. Of course she does, because I know her secret. Yeah, I'm sure she has like an office or something where they could have gone during the day to have a private conversation if that was the case, right? But no, we gotta meet in front of the staircase in the middle of the night. And like for students, let's say, it kind of makes sense because the whole, I don't know, teenage thing. But for an adult, I don't understand. A night tryst with Dahlia. Yuzu really wants to meet late at night. Gotta be as dramatic as possible. Yeah. Regret glistens in her eyes, but I'll spare her that. Silence descends between us. Ignoring her, I go on to ask her if she's heard any recent reports of vegetables being stolen from the allotments. That's also what I was thinking when that it might have been the unusable ones, right? If you're feeding animals, then you would be using those, like it wouldn't hurt anyone. But I still don't understand. And also, who is she? They really like to say she, her, like in this mysterious, like, oh, I know who I'm talking about, but I'm not gonna tell you. And I'm here like, everyone in this novel is female. Like, you might as well just not be telling me anything. You might as well just say it. Oh gosh. As I gaze into the curtained windows of her eyes, I preface my explanation by telling her that this was told to me in confidence.
行政が数週間前、怪我をした野生生物、タヌキを寄宿舎そばで見つけたんです。世話をし、怪我も徐々に回復してきた。しかし、完治する前に教職員に見つかってしまったのです。原則、寮で動物を飼うことは禁止されている。だからその教職員も原則通り動物を森へと返した。
I come to a however.
もともと優しいあの人は、怪我が完治していない動物を見捨てられなかった。彼女は決まった時間に森へ餌と薬を届けに行っていたのです。
Sister Basket is looking down at the floor. I pick up the sack that I'd set next to the aquarium and show it to her.
伝え聞く森をさまようウェンディゴは素早い白い影だ。はじめに白い影を見た生徒は木々の合間からこの白いズダ袋を見たのでしょうね。
白い袋に野菜を詰めて。
ええ、中身を見聞しましたが、野菜のかけらがありました。優しい人だ。
At this, Sister Basket lifts her head, a glimmer in her golden eyes.
そこまで分かっていたのですね。ええ、そう、私が。
いや、違います。あなたはある人をかばっている。
She's still trying to take the fall herself, but it's already too late for that. I divulged the name of the Wendigo. Oh, interesting. Because the one thought that I was having is that the white is from the sack, but Sister Basket herself, most of the time when like she's not necessarily teaching or something, she's in that white garment that she's wearing right now. So the shadow that they saw or whatever was the sack, but not Sister Basket herself, which is like probably much larger and is still white. Okay.
森をさまようウェンディゴの正体は片喰寮長です。
Oh, okay.
でも片喰さんは。
はじめは僕もバスキア教諭が正体なのではないかと思いました。なぜなら野生動物を飼っているのを見つけ注意したのは。
I'd already heard this from the students in question. The rest I deduced from the evidence.
だがその後世話をしたのは片喰寮長です。
なぜそんなことが言い切れるの？
これは忙しいバスキア教諭より片喰寮長の方が自由が取れるからです。
Yeah, makes sense.
そんな。
もちろんそれだけではない。この袋何か気づきませんか？
Ah, I'm so sorry. Sister Basket takes the proffered item from me and her expression grows even sadder.
そう。既製品ではない。これは片喰寮長が作ったものだ。
なぜそう言い切れるのですか？
Because she likes to knit.
この袋の内側見てください。
Oh, it's coffee.
黒いシミがある。これはコーヒーのシミです。
She repeats the word back to me.
少し前に八重垣くんの部屋に遊びに行った際、不注意からシーツの上にコーヒーをこぼしてしまった。
Oh, she made the sheets into a sack? What, she couldn't wash them off? What?
処分するよう片喰寮長の元へと持っていきましたが、
Alright, I see.
片場寮長は捨てるということが苦手な上、裁縫が得意だ。
I mean, to be honest,
リ
I've
サ
never
イクル
spilled.
しようと考えるのが自然でしょう。
I have never spilled coffee on
例えば
fabric.
野菜用の収穫袋にするとか。
Okay, Yuzu, thank you for your very long line and lots of pauses there. I've never spilled coffee on fabric, so I don't know if it's easy or hard to take out. But I'm also assuming all of their sheets are white, and if they're white, then you can put them in at super high temperature with like chlorine-based cleaning products that just like take everything out of it and just make it white again. So yeah, but okay, this is the story, I suppose. After a long pause in which she stares intently at the coffee stain, Sister Basket lets out a long sigh.
やはり八代さんには嘘はつけませんね。
これはついていい嘘です。ただ黙っていたままでは座りが悪かった。神のみぞ知るというのでは協力してもらった手前収まりがね。
She tenses momentarily at the mention of God.
みんなには
言う必要はありません。
ですが、
先ほども言いましたが、これはけじめのようなものなんですよ。合唱会にも支障がないのだし、取り立てて大ごとにするつもりはありません。
I add an internal addendum.
あの歌を幼い頃ネリーと共に歌った虹の魔法を怪我されたくなかっただけだ。
八代さん。
片場寮長にはバスキア教諭からもう餌付けは行わないように伝えてください。治療していた期間を考えるとそろそろ完治している頃合いでしょうしね。
それでいいの？
ええ、それでウェンディゴの噂は下火になり消えるでしょう。僕は憂いなく合唱会が行えればそれでいい。
Has she sensed my true motivations? The sack still clutched in her hand, Sister Basket makes the sign of the cross, bows politely, then leaves the lobby behind. I let out a long sigh. I'm more exhausted than I'd realized. Confronting someone so like myself has taken a toll, and my body is heavy with lethargy.
八重垣くんの言う重い生理のようだな。
I guess it's just easier for her to make a new one given her sewing skills rather than try to completely wash off a ground coffee stain. I suppose. Oh god, what is this? When I smile into the fish tank, they flit away from me. My father always brought his aquarium with him, no matter how many times we moved. What did he think about as he gazed at the bright fish and billowing seaweed? Slowly closing my eyes, I allow myself to melt into the deafening darkness. The high-pitched buzzing in my ears gradually fades away into nothing. Washing not fun, sewing fun. Okay. I don't know if I would find sewing fun when I'm using a fabric that is stained, but I guess when you think of like, you know, the purpose that she was sewing it for, I suppose it's fine because it was gonna get dirty anyway. Alone in that silent space, I find myself desperately missing my mother, although I have no idea what I would say to her if she were here. Oh? Oh, is this a POV change?
次はソプラノ班から始めます。他の班も万全と休むでなく、どう合わせるか耳で稽古をしてください。
Everyone choruses an okay.
さすがにあのネリーも気合が入っているな。
No, there's no POV change, it's okay. I've resolved the Wendigo incident and, like a shrewd loan shark, time has taken what it was accordingly owed. Autumn comes in like a lamb and leaves like a lion. The mild temperatures are gone, replaced by a chill that stings your skin the moment you step outside, The cool, sharp scent of early winter bristling your nose.
一旦歌を止めてください。若宮さん、少しだけ音程がずれているわ。人に合わせようとせずに自分の声で歌ってみてください。
ウェンディゴもあれ以来現れていない。合唱会も憂いなく行いそうだ。
As I advised Sister Basket to tell her, dorm mother Katabami stopped feeding the animal. As such, the rumors of the Wendigo fizzled out. With no further sightings of the White Shadow, people also lost interest in going out into the forest at sunset to look for it. At the height of autumn, they could enjoy the colorful leaves at the same time. Now that winter is approaching, though, fewer students are inclined to go wandering around in the cold woods.
ま、八重垣くんたちはつまらなかったろうがね。
That ragtag bunch must have figured out the true identity of the Wendigo somehow or other. They stopped talking about it after a certain point. I knew Silken already had, but...
佐々木凛吾くん。
Thinking of the girls who first told me of the rumors of the Wendigo, my heart grows heavy. I still haven't responded to her confession. And...
ゆずりは？
ん？なんだいネリー。僕たちの班の番かい？
I'm leading the altos. Although I smile at her, the look she returns is dubious.
いえ、少し休憩にしようって。
そうか。
でも、明日の合唱会での二重唱をもう少し詰めておきたいの。
Her smile is a picture of innocence.
リンゴくんに向き合うなら、私もネリーへの思いに向き合わなくてはならない。
The realization hits me as she takes me by the hand. Oh. A swing and a miss, huh? My murmur quickly dissolves into the silence of the deserted library.
後輩に悩みを聞いてもらおうなんて、後ろ向きの考え方だが。
Plus,
高坂くんのことで口を閉ざしている私が背を押してもらおうなんて。
I smile self-deprecatingly at how girly I'm being. Despite the fact that the season for melancholy is supposed to be drawing to a close, here I am, getting all despondent. Approaching the librarian's desk, I see a vase atop it containing a single Margaret daisy. My mouth twists.
心に秘めた愛か。できすぎた花言葉だな。
But if such love is kept hidden, the petals are sure to wither and fall. Startled by the sound of the door opening, I glance over to the entrance to the library. Spotting me, the intruder's lips curve into a feline smile. Following her gaze, the girl pushing her wheelchair raises a hand to greet me.
久しぶりですね、八代先輩。最近お見限りだから私たちのことを忘れてしまったのかと思っちまいましたよ。
すまない。明日に控えた合唱会の練習、運営も二階屋の会の長としてしなくてはならなかったからね。
Oh yeah, that would be
体が2つ欲しいよ。
that would be so handy.
ドッペルゲンガーのようにですか？
夕映えの指す雰囲気のある図書室で妙な興奮の仕方をするんじゃない。用が済んだら花紙みたいに丸めてポイってのも八代先輩らしくてそれ忘れてクールですがね。
That's a bit mean. What? Huh? She smirks at me and I run a hand down my ponytail.
そこまで義理に廃る人間じゃないよ。多少の心ってやつはある。
My smile freezes in place as the heartless Teen Woodsman comes to mind. Ay, ay, ay.
冗談ですよ。浮世離れしちゃいますが、そんなに悪い人じゃないってのは分かってますよ。
Looks like she's not going to comment on my wooden expression.
ありがとう。
あら、
どうしたんだい？
本を借りに来たのですけど、図書委員の白羽さんがいないようですね。
さっき僕も来たばかりだが、スオ君の姿はその時から見えないね。トイレにでも行って席を外しているのじゃないかな。
そうですか。
白羽でもトイレなんて行くんだ。
You were assuming she doesn't? Like, what? What are we saying? What?
エリカ何か言った？
いや、なんでもない。さっさと本を見繕っちまおう。
She nods and heads over to the foreign fiction section. I absent-mindedly watched two of them.
で、明日の合唱会ですが、ソロのパートは完璧ですか？
Yaigaki-kun questions me as she browses the spines lining the shelf.
ソロ。ああ、最後の曲だね。あれはソロではないよ。僕とネリーの二重唱で行うんだ。
へえ、合唱っていうとみんなで歌うやつ以外は知らなかったんですが、二人で歌うものなんてのもあるんですね。
I mean, you were just expecting a solo, so I'm confused.
ああ、それにソロなんて怖いことを言わないでくれ。
S word.
一人で歌うなんて
The S word.
怯えて声も出せない。
Our muffled voices echo through the library as we banter back and forth. She's heard me practice the song over and over, so we both know we're just messing with one another.
虹の魔法。懐かしくも美しい曲。エリカが歌うのも聞いてみたいわ。
ジョン・ライドンならここでくたばっちまえっていうところだぞ。
She pulls a face like she's just bitten into a lemon. Then she glances at me and her expression grows troubled.
遅いな。
月のもの？
I think she's talking about Suo, but okay.
八代先輩のお箱を奪うんじゃない。白羽だよ。なあ、千鳥。少し様子を見に行ってやってくれ。
A flicker of jealousy crosses Takasaki-kun's
化
face.
粧直しをしているだけよ。気の回しすぎだわ。
あいつは私と同じで病弱なんだよ。いいから見てきてくれ。
Okay, now I'm worried. What? Although she seems put out by the request, Takasaki-kun does as she's asked and leaves the library.
ずいぶんとスオ君に対して過保護じゃないか？
Rather than rising to my bait, she keeps her head lowered as she awkwardly scratches her head. I can tell, even without being able to look into her eyes, that she's choosing her next words carefully.
僕と二人きりになりたかったんだね。
Yeah, that's what I also thought.
そうです。千鳥には聞かれたくなかった。
Okay.
まさか。
She's as sharp as Suo-kun. I've gotta be more wary of her. Is she really going to bring this up? Bring what up?
八代先輩。
なんだい？
She stops messing with her hair and raises her head. Her face is flushed scarlet to the very tips of her ears.
大丈夫。うまくいく。
Ah?
え？
明日の合唱会。いや、最後の曲。その、
Oh my
何か
god.
思い出の曲なんでしょ。だから絶対に失敗したくない。ですよね。
I'm so touched. This is so empathetic and nice and warm of her. Wow.
ああ、そうだ。僕とネリーとの思い出の曲さ。
あれだけ練習したんだ。そんな顔しなくとも大丈夫ですよ。私が太鼓判を押します。
この子は私のことを気遣って。
She spotted the way I tensed up when I heard the title Rainbow Magic.
嬉しいよ。八重垣くんが励ましてくれるなんて。
私はあなたのことが気に入ってるんです。個人的にね。
Although at first I thought you were a pain in the butt. Shit.
高崎くんやバスキア教諭、スオくんの次に
Smiling cynically, I play along with her banter, but Yaigaki-kun's eyes are earnest.
若いだとか年を食っているだとか、女男の境なく、私はそれほど多くの相手を気に入るわけじゃない。
そうだったね。すまない。
I can see in her eyes how sincere she is in wanting to encourage me, to inspire me. Behind the windows of her eyes, a fire crackles in the hearth. filling that inner room with warmth.
人間は人生を失敗する権利がある。
映画アメリの言葉だね。
If you take those words at face value, it might sound like she wants to fail, but that's not what she really means.
勝負をしなければならない時が必ずある。
Times when you have to face challenges.
ありがとう。心は定まったよ。
そいつはよかった。
Tomorrow, after the choral contest, I'm going to tell Nerine Komikado how I feel. Oh! Ah! It's... Damn it! No, don't ruin this for me. Goddamn. Is what I want to say, but I keep that decision to myself. Ah, she just doesn't want to say it out loud, but she's gonna do it, right? Right? Yeah. Now is no time to think of what you do not have. Think of what you can do with what you have. I don't know, I didn't catch that. Think what you can do with what there is. Okay. A line from Ernest Hemingway's The Old Man and the Sea. It doesn't come to mind because I've got time to spare. Quite the opposite, in fact.
各学年の合唱も終わり。
Cute costume alert. Cute costume alert. She looks so well in red. Each year group has performed. Okay.
合唱部の課題曲も歌い終えた。
Cute. For some reason, there are times when I'll think or say the exact opposite of what I'm truly feeling. It's generally when I'm nervous. When I'm feeling sick with nerves, I'll casually ask for a drink with the most relaxed of expressions. When faced with some annoyance, I'll smile and crow that things are getting interesting.
魚が考える時間を与えてくれるなんて。まあじゃない。
Faced with an audience eagerly awaiting our entrance to the stage, my body is startlingly cold and rigid, like I've turned into a block of ice. And it's not just regular stage fright. The moment when I'll settle my feelings for Neri once and for all is fast approaching.
準備はできた？
Her soft voice comes from behind me.
ネリ
Oh my god. She's so cute! Oh, it suits her so well. Seeing my best friend dressed in her white gown serves only to heighten my anxiety even further.
綺麗だ。
Yeah, she is, isn't she? Jesus. So cute. A gasp escapes my lips. Her golden hair shimmers next to the white fabrics. Even in this extravagant getup, she remains as elegant and refined as ever.
どうしたのゆずりは？あなた、ずいぶん緊張しているみたいよ。
緊張？そんな感情は母親の腹の中に忘れてきたよ。
Again, the complete opposite of reality. No matter how badly I want to break down and voice my fears, I always put on the mask of the stout, unwavering Tin Woodsman.
いつからかしら？
Yeah, every time there's like any sort of costumes or different get-ups going on, it's so special and so cute.
え？
あなたが私に本当を見せてくれなくなったのは。
Ooh. The words are whispered directly into my ear, but my brain still can't register the fact that she is embracing me. It's like I'm caught up in a daydream. She wraps her arms tightly around me and pats me on the head like I'm a child, before affectionately stroking my hair.
ネリ
私では頼りないかもしれないけど、たまには体を預けてくれてもいいの。
Cute. Her smile is infinitely open and accepting. She pulls back from me and flashes a mischievous smile like she's once more the girl from my childhood. Then she extends a pale, delicate hand.
ゆずりは、手を出して。
何を？
さあ。
I hesitantly reach my own trembling hand toward
握
hers.
手を。
Oh. She grips my hand, although it remains stiff in hers.
なんだい？
ゆずりはは子供の頃から変わらないわ。ここぞという時に育児がない。 私の手を握って。
I tried to do as she says, but my hand is strangely numb and like the blood stopped flowing through it.
握手の作法よ。
Of course I do.
きちんと友達になるにはしっかりとした握手をしなくちゃいけない。
Right. Ever since that moment. No, since even before then, I've...
こんなに頼りになる友達がそばにいるのだもの。何も怖がることはない。
Cute.
ああ、早く歌いたくてしょうがない。
The ice in my veins has melted. I clasp her hand back, returning her firm grip. I see.
歌いましょう、ゆずりは。私たちの虹の魔法を。
I see. So this is the image that we saw in the beginning of the chapters. Very nice. Autoplay segment ahead. Okay. I'll do my best to read, but please don't don't be mad at me if I mess up. The light piano accompaniment starts playing. The notes slowly but surely lead me back into the past, to when I was young. Our duet begins. Nettie's voice starts out soft, gradually gaining in volume until it fills. Our eyes are fixed on her, entranced by her singing.
さあ、私の番だ。
Oh. I join in with my alto part, creating a perfect harmony, finding that fine balance between drowning her out and being overshadowed by her
母
clear.
が私へと聞かせ、私がネリーへと伝え教えた曲。
Rainbow magic. I once asserted that Nettie was one of those people who have music in their veins.
やはり私のネリーは
She's been chosen by the music. The amazing thing about her singing is how her voice paints a picture. It's like those who listen are lulled into a deep sleep, awakening later to find they've left just a tiny piece of their soul behind in the dream world. As for me,
彼女が歌うたびに心が幼い頃に引き戻されていく。引き波が足をさらい、深い海へと誘うように。
episodes of that great tale, The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, rise up through the swell. Dorothy swept up the house and all carried on the wings of a hurricane. Yet she felt no fear. The more time passed, the calmer she felt, like she was being rocked. I have been worn down by the many changes I have.
最初の同行者。
This is impossible to read. I'm so sorry.
「最後に臆病ライオン」。
積み重なる思い雨雲
無口なままぽつりと一粒だけ空は晴れて虹が咲いた色褪せない眩しさ今は淡く霞んだ道も進み続けたどり着ける場所がある手に入れた勇気が照らしてる
怯えないように済むよう彼女の目になりたい。
手をつないで顔を上げてハスへと虹の魔法を叶えられる悔やまないで歩こう今は遠く儚い夢も信じている掴める日が来ることをこの胸に刻み込んで誓う雨上がり行こう手を取り合い虹の空キラキラ咲く虹
あの時からずっと変わっていない。
These moments are so cool and so important that the fact that we have to be chased around and experience this anxiety of like, oh, I'm not gonna read in time, I'm not gonna read in time, I need to read fast to catch everything, is just ruining it. I'm sorry. This is like my biggest complaint about this novel, generally speaking, and all of the other moments as well. If it's such a pivotal moment for the character and it's like the it's like where everything that we've been going through together with the character converges to this moment, and it's this big highlight, climax, whatever you want to call it, in the story. Why, for the love of God, couldn't these scenes be conceived in such a way that we take our time to read and absorb everything that the character is going through, rather than just like being chased like at lightning speed? You gotta read all of this text. It was beautiful, but I wish it wasn't like on fast forward. Okay. The final note is swallowed up by the whole. After a brief pause, one clap turns into thunderous applause.
譲り合う上々だ
I look into her mesmerizing celadon eyes. Then we both face the audience and bow deeply. Adoration rains down upon us again.
君に話したいことがあるんだ。
Is it happening? It's happening. I tell her in a low voice meant only for her ears. Sorry. I'm sure she heard me. Puzzlement briefly mars her features. But I can't repeat it again. The nuance would be lost. Raising my hand to my adoring public, I look out at the lights like the face of the moon, peeking from between the clouds, and bow again. Is it? I believe it's auto-playing because it's supposed to hit certain beats or certain moments of the song, right? So it, like, everything is structured on the progression of the song or something, which I understand fully what you're trying to do there. It's perfect. But then either make the song last longer or write less text. Because it just ruins it. It just ruins it. If you are only managing to read half sentences, you're not getting the full immersion and the full feelings of the person. And like, at least, I don't know, maybe this is also just me because my brain is like this, and I really cannot do stuff properly when I am running against the clock. Like, everything freezes and I'm just like, I'm not really there. I'm only operating with, like, I don't know, half a brain or something because of the anxiety of it. But if I am rushed through it, I'm not even absorbing what I'm reading. I'm just chasing words on the screen, and it just really takes me out of it. I'm sorry. Yeah, okay, so it's time to be exactly as long as the song. I get the point of that. But then if the song is not long enough, then don't, like, shove everything in it and we don't get to properly absorb or experience it. Just, like, put the essentials, right? The English translation is more stuffy than the original Japanese text just by virtue of it being well English. Well, they should have considered that. There should have been QA on this. Thank you very much. I'm sure it is possible, even though it is English, to capture the essence of it without necessarily having to translate absolutely every single thing that is in there. But anyway, this is just like back then, I think. But now you're in the opposite situation, aren't you? Standing beneath Christ on the cross, summoned here so that Ringo Sasaki could confess to me. However, I'm the one who's called her here, and I'm the one who's going to confess. I will whisper my love to Nerine Komikado. When I think of the words I'm about to say, it feels almost bafflingly unreal. I've always done my best to keep these feelings hidden. I thought I was fine just being friends, keeping her as my closest friend, the one person to whom I could open my heart. But oh man. I'm not saying they're bad. This is the thing. I think they're wonderful. They're beautiful. But because we're being like chased, that's how I feel. Like I'm being chased and pushed. And I'm like, go, 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 go. I don't get to fully immerse myself and enjoy it. Yes, they are wonderful. They're beautiful. They're like the encapsulation, like the highest point of like everything that we've been going through with the characters up until now. So why? I also don't think I'm particularly a slow reader. I think it's just like really not enough time to read. The younger girl who admitted her feelings for me despite knowing they wouldn't be reciprocated. Ringo Sasaki, who openly confessed her love for me. Those girls gave me the push I needed. This time the quote that comes to mind is from Forrest Gump rather than Amelie. This one I know. Because while Amelie's words gave me resolve, they offer no comfort when I think of her. A pious, faithful Christian. Startled by the sound of the heavy chapel door opening, I cower. Even in the darkness, I'm captivated by her hair like golden wheat, her porcelain skin, her tender gaze. No. As she approaches, I see her eyes are wary, as though she already has some sense of what's about to take place here. That look dampens my resolve. No! Forbidden things. But I have to tell her. No passing it off as wanting to look up at the stars this time. She's being silly, maybe because we're standing in front of an image of Christ himself. But I can tell, even without looking her in the eye, that she's forcing it. Let's stop here. Hang in there, Bear. It's gonna be okay. Regardless of the outcome, the point is that she's putting her feelings out there. I've done that. It is one of the most liberating things you can do. So I want her to experience that. I want her to be liberated. My best friend's face contorts bitterly. She knows what I went through with my mother's death. She looks at me with pain and sadness written across her face, and I thank her.
舞台袖で勇気をくれたことさ。あの日と同じように握手をしてくれた。
ゆずりは
僕と君が初めて互いを互いに知った日だ。忘れたことはない。
遠足の時、私だって忘れたことはなかったわ。
The way she smiles makes my chest ache, but I force myself to smile back.
初めて出会った時、
どうしたの？昔のことばかり話すのね。
今が満たされていないと昔を懐かしむのさ。ネリー、僕はね、君に救われたんだよ。
ゆずりは
君と出会う前の僕は何者でもなかった。自分というものを持っていなかったんだ。
そんなこと。
I shake my head.
ネリーも分かっていたはずだ。だから僕へ手を差し伸べてくれた。君にとっては何気ない親切心だったかもしれないけど、僕にとってそれは色のない世界が初めて鮮やかに映った瞬間だったんだ。
It's like I'm delirious with fever. The emotions boil within me, steam up my throat, and spill from my lips in an unstoppable stream of words.
二人で初めて遊びに行った時のことも、食べ歩きをしていて補導されそうになったことも、ネリーの家に初めてお呼ばれしたことも。
Oh, Bea. Sit with the pain, embrace the pain, and move past beyond the pain. You can do it. I believe in you.
すべてが私にとって特別だった。
私にとってもゆずりはと共に過ごした日は特別だったわ。
I cut her off, telling her she's wrong. My version of special isn't the same as hers. Her eyes waver as I take her hand in mine, which is trembling so violently it's almost funny.
初めて出会った時はそばかすが残る三つ編みの少女だった。その時から恋している。
At last. I feel like I'm speaking the truth for the first time in my life. At first her eyes widen and she blinks like she can't believe what she's hearing. Then she looks up at the image of Christ behind me and her eyes darken.
ゆずりは
I can tell from the tone of her voice she's
まるで
like a pessimistic captain just waiting for her ship to go down.
ネリー、
Okay, this I didn't expect.
ダメ。
Anticipating my next desperate move, she turns her face away.
そうか。それが君の答えなんだね。
My heart feels like it's being scraped out of my chest with the butter knife. The agony of rejection builds to desperation.
私はネリネのことが。
Leaning in, I try to capture her lips again. I mean, this is not really the best thing to do right now, right? Yeah, okay. Yeah. She's justified.
ごめんなさい。でも
That's too much, okay? She can't bring herself to finish the sentence. It's plain to me from the way she looks up at the image of Christ in the stained glass window as she leaves. As a devout Christian, Nerine Komikado cannot fall in love with anyone. Wait, with anyone? The ship is sinking fast.
分かっていた。分かっていたさ。
I knew that her faith wouldn't allow her to accept me. And yet...
告白しなければ、私の心は張り裂けていただろう。
Yes, my friend. There's nothing wrong with that. I highly encourage it to put your feelings out there and to express how you're actually feeling about her, because it's been eating you from the inside. But forcing a kiss when you already know that most likely it would be a rejection. No, I'm sorry, that was a mistake. I can't blame her necessarily. I can understand the overwhelming emotion and everything, but yeah, no, that's it's the expression of Yuzuriha's absolute desperation. I can understand that. Yeah, I empathize, but that's just, it's you like Yuzuriha in this position should have expected that she wouldn't have Neri's consent to do that, and yet she tried to force it, so that's not okay. Self-sabotage, yeah, could be. Could be, yeah. It's no exaggeration to say that my feelings for her could no longer be contained. That, I empathize. I do. But all I feel now is a regret so powerful it's crushing my chest and making it hard for me to breathe. If only I hadn't told her everything could continue. No, if only you hadn't forced a kiss. Telling her wasn't a mistake. Ah, yes. Yeah. Okay, this you're right, Beth. This is reeks of self-sabotage. It's like doing the worst thing that you can do in the moment to kind of force it to be a bad situation, and then looking back and say, oh, just the attempt itself was the wrong decision. Not the attempt telling her. That wasn't wrong, but okay. Words from the wonderful Wizard of Oz. They'd floated through my mind during the choral contest as I'd journeyed back into the past. I'd wanted those silver slippers, the ones that could transport me to my mother's side in an instant, no matter how far away we moved. And in that book, which I'd read together with Neri, she took those slippers and... At some point, I must have crouched down on the ground. Now I raise my heavy head at the sound of footsteps. For a moment, the thought that Neri has come back to me warms my frozen heart. It's definitely not that. I'm sure Neri gets it. The kiss in itself is not an issue for her personally. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure she will understand, but that was way too much pressure on her. Oof. She looks down at me with the most pained expression, and it hits me that I am completely and utterly alone. There's no safe harbor for me here anymore. Desperation makes a girl do things sometimes. Yeah, like I said, I empathize. I fully empathize with her. I wish I could pat her. Looking into my eyes, she takes a breath. Oh, no, dear. Then she pulls me into her arms, pressing her body against mine.
Ringo? Yuzuriha senpai.
She caresses my cheek, then my head, like she's comforting her own child. While her hand is too tiny to remind me of my mother, I can feel the same intent to console me.
いいんだ。もうやめてくれ。私はあなたを拒絶したりはしない。
Those are the words. Those are the words my hollow, worthless self always wanted to hear.
佐々木りんごは八代ゆずりはのすべてを。
I accept you. Those words are like music to my ears, a balm for my bruised heart. And I realize that the yearning I've kept inside all these years has gone, fading away into the dark and the silence without a goodbye.
Ozの魔法使いという童話がある。魔法使いに会うためエメラルドの町へと急ぐドロシーたち。カカシは脳みそをもらうために、臆病なライオンは勇気をもらうために、ブリキの木こりはハートをもらうために、ドロシーはカンザスへと帰るため町へと続く黄色いレンガの道を進む。町へ続く道を進むも幾度も困難に阻まれる。崖に阻まれ、熊の体と虎の頭を持つ化け物に襲われ、大きな川を渡る童貞で取り残された哀れなカカシ、ヒナゲシの花の好奇による睡魔に倒れる臆病なライオン。これらの困難に知恵と勇気ある行動、慈悲を持って乗り越えていく。そしてようやくエメラルドの町へと着き、ついにオズと面会することが叶う。一日に一人しか面会を許さぬというオズは、ドロシーには大きな頭だけの異形の姿で、カカシにはこの上なく美しい婦人の姿に、ブリキの木こりには世にも恐ろしい怪物の姿をとり、臆病なライオンには猛々しく燃える炎の玉となって現れた。オズは願いを叶える代わりに皆へ横島な西の魔女を殺すことを命じたのだ。私はその理不尽な要求よりも何にでも変化できるオズを羨ましいとも悲しいとも思った。見るものによって様々に変わる姿、それは決して本当の姿を知られず、本当の自分を知ることもないのではないかと。これから始まる物語は、己の姿と心すら知らぬ愚昧な娘のお話。
Oh, we have POV stuff happening. I need to hide myself then. Okay. The bitter coffee prickles my tongue as I think of my best friend, the girl who confessed her love to me. Yuzuriha Yatsushiro had laid bare her previously concealed feelings for me, with an imploring gaze that took me back to when we first met. And then, upon reading my reaction, her eyes. As I place the cup down on the desk with a sigh, my gaze falls on the book beside it.
オズの魔法使い。
The book we'd obsessed over as children. On that fateful school trip. It wasn't out of kindness that I became friends with her. Even as a child, it was undoubtedly self-interest that spurred me to make friends with the girl who was always on her own. Because I had to be the good, well-mannered girl. It's not that I myself was motivated to be good. I simply did all the usual good deeds that normal people do. If a classmate came dashing over to me saying they'd forgotten their textbook, I'd lend them mine. If I saw trash on the floor, I'd pick it up. The little things that anyone would do. But I was raised up and praised for these perfectly natural acts. Being a good girl wasn't something I wanted for myself. It was expected by those around me. It was probably related to my appearance. I was aware that I looked gentle and approachable. It may be an arrogant thing to say about myself, but I doubt people could begin to imagine someone as angelic looking as me doing anything immoral. Another factor was my father. Of course, any child of such a devout, God-fearing man could only ever possess the most exemplary conduct. So I don't recall being particularly kind to that girl on the school trip crying over her scraped knee. I simply did what was expected. The kind of rote good deed that my father would have done. And yet the girl was so grateful for my unremarkable treatment. And I thought to myself that here, again, was someone who'd mistaken me for a better person than I really was because of my looks. Because our houses were close by, we started walking to and from school together. It was so cute the way she'd trail along behind me like a duckling. The school trip was the start of it. No, that's not true. One day when I'd gotten bored of talking with my friends, I'd noticed she was reading my favorite book, The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, and had struck up a conversation with her. From that day forth, I started talking to her not only on the way there and back, but also at school. Once we got to talking, I realized she was like a walking bookshelf full of knowledge. Chatting with her was fun, and we soon became fast friends. As we got to know one another better, I learned of her complicated home situation, and it made sense why she would be so enamored with me. I was special to her. Seeing how my friend depended on me, I decided to test just how far she would go for me. It started with childish things, like seeing whether I could get her to give me her dessert at lunch, or getting her to buy matching stationery with me. Soon it escalated to requesting she take the same classes as me, until eventually I made her promise that I would be her one and only friend. Oh, okay, that is descending into interesting layers of nitty. Yuzuriha would do whatever I asked of her, and I felt powerful. Then I decided to push it even further into the most sacred of areas. I made Yuzuri Hayatsujiro get baptized, like I had been. I made her choose to live as a Christian, except there was no choice about it. I had coerced her with our friendship, the prize. Ever since I was little, it had been hammered into me by my father what it was to be holy, what faith meant. In my youthful curiosity and lust for conquest, I violated my own faith and desecrated her too. The now lukewarm coffee is like bitter mud sliding down my throat. She can drink it now, after so long forcing herself to do it for me. Just another way I changed her. The bitter taste takes me back to the time my conceited heart was doused with cold water. The time when her mother, who had been hospitalized in a distant infirmary, was permitted home for a brief spell. I want my mom to meet my best friend. I foolishly accepted her invitation and arrived at her house with a bouquet in hand. She had tugged me by the arm into her high-ceilinged house, leading me to a room right at the back. In the mostly bare room, okay, we can tell that's Yuzu's voice, but okay, let's imagine it's her mom. She was gaunt with sickness, yet there was nothing scary about her. She greeted me with a smile. With shameless humility, I had spoken of mine and Yuzuriha's friendship, and her mother had nodded along with a pleased smile. I'll go get us some drinks. As I watched Yuzuriha leave the room, I realized I was still holding the bouquet of flowers. I looked around the room for a vase. Then...
ネリネさん
Oh no. As soon as Yuzuriha had left the room, the smile disappeared from the woman's face, and she stared at me with a terribly morose look on her face.
本当はゆずりはを友達とは思っていないのでしょ
I felt all the blood drain from my face and pool in the soles of my feet. It was the first time anyone had ever seen through my fake goody two-shoes act. The shock rendered me speechless. I watched as the woman in the bed leaned
今
forward.
が嘘でもいいでもお願いですどうかどうか
With her breath across my face, her voice sounding like it was coming from the depths of a well, she begged me.
あの方ゆずりはと
What is that sound supposed to be? Geez, unable to bear those words, I shake my head to rid it of the memory. Wrapping my arms around my trembling body, I stare out into the darkness beyond the window. You don't really think of Yuzuriha as your friend, do you? I don't care if it's a lie, but please, please. Promise, my Yuzuriha. The wind rustling the branches of the cherry trees sounds like a voice calling to me from the bottom of a well. Filled with repentance for my former self, I whisper Yuzuriha's
ト
name.
ガ人の私があの子へ言えることなんて
My whispered words are carried away by the wind as I slowly close my eyes and make the sign of the cross over my breast. Well, okay. Here I am. Oh, man. Gazing up at the sky, I feel as though I've journeyed to some distant land. That was interesting, though. It's humanizing her in a way I didn't really expect, but it's very welcome. The calm autumn sky is shifting from a pale blue to a deep azure. The sky is so high, so wide, so piercingly clear that I am overwhelmed by a feeling of being crushed by it. Breathing in deeply, I feel a cold sting in my nose. Winter is here.
まあ暦の上じゃとっくに冬なんだけどね
美味しくないですか
Aww. Hold back down to earth, I respond cheerfully.
まずいわけがないリンゴが作ってくれたんだぞ
嬉しいです
No, they're hanging out. Seeing her cheeks flush faintly, I'm struck again by how not just the sky, but everything around me has changed.
以前とある映画でカーディガンを着るような男は信用しないことにしてる
I gaze at Ringo-kun in her autumn cardigan.
カーディガンを着るような女の子は信用に値する
ゆずりは先
Cute. She shifts awkwardly and I bite into another of the cookies she baked for me. My world has changed. After I confessed to Nerine and she turned me down. I accepted Ringo-kun's confession. Bold step. Even though I decided to turn her down, honestly, if you asked me outright if it was a rebound, I'd be hard-pressed to say no. After I was rejected by my best friend, I felt like I was going down on a sinking ship, and she held out her hand to me. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't conflicted, but...
おかしくはないかな
何がです
僕が女の子らしい髪型にしてみたいと言ったことがさ
I'm about to go on to say it couldn't possibly suit an androgynous figure like me when...
おかしいことなんてないですよゆずりは先輩の髪を見るたびもっと可愛い髪型があるのにと思っていましたです
Yeah, it is super cute.
そう
はい髪の毛をただ下ろしただけ
I think
すごい
French
美
braids
人
would
さん
look
です
great
よ
on her.
嬉しいな
That day in my room when she'd brushed my hair, it brought back distant memories of my mother doing the same thing, and I had felt at peace. My heart, bruised and battered from that night in the chapel, is gradually starting to heal.
私の前ではもっと女の子をしていてほしいです。
Ooh,
そんなに率直に口説かれるとは思わなかったな。
cute.
口説くとか私は。
ありがとう、リンゴ。
Since that night, slowly but surely. During the course of our stolen secret dates, my relationship with Ringo Sasaki has deepened.
古風だが、憧れていたシチュエーションだ。
Communicating via letters. Not love letters? Well, they're not completely devoid of such sentiments, but they're a means of keeping our relationship hidden. It's not something I requested, rather we both seemed to want to keep it to ourselves. We both judged that having the fact that we were dating out in the open would only bring trouble. For my part, I'm not lacking in zealous fans. And Ringo still hasn't told Ichigo about us. I will not believe that. I don't believe that. There's no way. I wouldn't trust Ringo. She might not always be Ringo. That's also another thought that I have. We'll see. We'll see what it is. But this Ringo still hasn't told Ichigo about this. There's no way in hell. That's true. It pains me to be on the receiving end of Ichigo-kun's affections while I'm dating her sister. Many times I've wanted to tell her, but...
関係が崩れるということに臆病になっていた。
When I think of how things are with my best friend, how we've barely spoken since that night in the chapel, I lose any courage I might have to come clean to Ichigo-kun. Our little love letters are a way for us to set the times and places of our rendezvous without other students finding out. I've always known that I like women, that I'm a lesbian. But now, for the first time, I actually have a girlfriend who I can lay my feelings bare to, and I can't restrain my delight. I feel like a river, once blocked up by driftwood and debris, but now flowing back along its true course. Oh,
本当にいいのですか?
oh, this is cute. Are they like in the AV room watching a movie or something? That's so cute. She asks me as we watch a movie together in the middle of the night, just the two of us.
こんなに幸せでいいのかって。
こんな夜更けに視聴覚室に忍び込むことがですよ。
I mean, I believe it's not allowed, but I guess YOLO on this one. She squints up at me from her position atop my lap. Is this really okay? I get the feeling that she left something unsaid after that. You don't regret saying yes to me.
必ず最後に一語分付け加え忘れるような物言い。
It's like how I was always scared of my mother's inconsiderate
見回り
words.
に来る時間は分かっている。何も心配することはない。
Living life on the edge, I guess.
ならいいのですけど。
She wriggles in my lap. I can feel her plump little butt against my thighs. What am I reading? And my mind is flooded with thoughts of what we could get up to in this darkened, empty room. Okay, no, let's move on. If I take her in my arms... My cam is still off? What? But I clicked it! What? I clicked it! What? How is it off? I clicked it and I saw it. Did I accidentally double click it and then it went away? Yeah. Okay, I don't know what happened there. I'm sorry. Thank you for telling me. Like, when the chapter or like the thing changed, I went and I clicked it and I remember seeing myself, at least for a brief moment. My mouse is dying and it double clicks. Okay, yeah. Who knows? It's an old mouse. Okay, no, we don't need this. Thank you very much. But I'm pretty sure I saw myself for a moment and then I immediately turned to the story. Okay. I did something weird. My bad. Sorry. Thank you for for letting me know. Just so you know, my OBS is like over here. It's like not even in my peripheral vision. I don't see. It's like to that side. Because you are here in my peripheral vision, to the other edge of my monitor. Yeah, I hope you find something that you enjoy just as much. So, if I take her in my arms, if I whisper sweet nothings to her, if I kiss her...
私を受け入れてくれる。
ゆずりは先輩。
すまない。映画の途中に話しかけるのはマナー違反だったね。名作だ。集中しよう。
映画好きのスオ先生がいたら殴られてしまう。
I can imagine that.
ああ、違いない。
As we watched the movie Cocoon, a recommendation of my teachers, I wrap my arms around Ringo from behind and rest my chin on her shoulder.
先輩。
ふざけていないよ。この方が集中できる。いい映画だ。渋い名優が出る映画を教えてくれと頼んだが、彼女の選定眼に間違いはない。
This is the kind of movie that makes me regret not being into sci-fi, since maybe I'd have seen it earlier. I don't know this movie. It all revolves around this group of aliens' interaction with the residents of an old people's home. Oh, that sounds interesting.
別に笑いどころはなかったですよ。
いや、なんだか自分の身に置き換えさせられてね。
A contaminating presence that has found its way into this pure, axenic female culture. That's me. I smirk to myself as the aged stars of yesteryear act their hearts out on screen. Did Suoken recommend this movie knowing that? It seems possible that my younger schoolmate, sharp as she is, may have picked it in awareness of the darkness and confusion I'm still wrestling
わ
with.
かりやすくスーパーマン3とかの方が好みだったな。
それ知ってます。おばあちゃんと一緒に見ましたよ。
そうか。
Cute.
いい映画だ。
I recall the scene where good and evil fight with Clark Kent's mind. My true feelings.
集中しないとダメですよ。
She nuzzles her cheek against mine and I make a non-committal
今を
sound.
大切にしないといけないね。
As I get closer to her, I'm gradually starting to change, as though a wind is whipping up waves on the once placid surface of my inner ocean. Slowly, but surely. Then, as I continue to let her gentle breeze caress me, one day it strikes me that it's already been 2 weeks since Ringo and I started dating.
合唱会からもう2週間が経ったんですね。
The comment from my friend is like a knife to my throat, and I manage to croak out a huh? Said friend, one Erika Yaegaki, is staring intently into my eyes with the expression of someone examining a particularly unusual cloud formation. What expression would that be, though? I can't picture.
時が経つのは早いって話ですよ。もう12月になっちまった。よくある話の枕ですが、おかしいですか？
They all have the cardigans now, I guess.
いや、
Or not.
まあ構いませんがね。私が話そうとしたことは生徒会選挙のことです。
The student council elections. The terms I offered if she wanted to know about her missing love. Succeed me as president of the Council of Nicaea.
巷じゃ二階屋の首都選びなんて呼ばれ方をしてますがね。まさか
白羽さんが立候補するとは思わなかったわ。
Takasaki-kun finishes her sentence as she pours out our coffee and sets the steaming cups before me and Yaegaki-kun.
暑いですから気をつけてください。
Yeah, don't drop it on the bed.
なんだよ。適温で入れろよな。私は猫舌なんだぞ。
カーディガンを着るほど寒いんでしょ？
寒がりなのと猫舌なのは別問題だろうが。
Takasaki-kun nods, humoring her as she sips on her Own hot coffee. I decide to flatter my cold-blooded friend by telling her how fashionable she looks.
とてもよく似合っている。カーディガンは女の子を2割増しで可愛くさせるね。
お前もこういう気の利いたことを言えるようになれよ。
別に必要ないわ。
あ
Savage Chidori. Why would I?
だって何を着てもエリカは可愛いわ。
そういう恥ずかしいセリフを臆面もなく言うんじゃない。
Yeah, Gakikun's face is slowly flushing even as she tries to play it off. For a moment, I'm quite taken by how adorable she is as she blows on her coffee to cool it.
それで八代先輩は聞かされてなかったのですか？
何がだい？
白羽さんが生徒会選挙に立候補するという話です。会長に立候補することを相談されていなかったのですか？
I can't tell them the truth.
僕からしても寝耳に水ってやつだね。
そうみたいなんです。だから拗ねてしまって。
Sulking Erika is best Erika.
拗ねてなんてない。
Yeah, you are. Look at your face. Her coffee must have cooled down to an acceptable temperature as she takes a sip and pulls a face.
ただ、私もそいつを聞きたかったのは確かだ。
Sua Shirahane has a beauty that would enchant anyone. She's pure and honest by nature, and she possesses both wisdom and intellect. It's not unthinkable that she should aim for the presidency.
でもなんだか変よね。白羽さんが二階屋の会なんて目立つことを自ら進んで行うなんて。
だろ？だから私は八代先輩に何か聞かされてないか。
I shake my head. Yaegaki-kun grimaces despite not having had a sip of her coffee, searching my eyes for the reasons behind my curt attitude.
花火師さんも生徒会選挙に立候補したのよね。
委員長が目指しているのは副会長の椅子だ。小見門先輩の椅子だよ。
My chest prickles at the mention of Neri's name.
白羽さんが会長を目指すのだものね。花火師さんがサポートするために副会長を目指すのは道理だわ。
Yaegaki-kun voices her agreement, then goes on to say that while it's probably not that difficult to make vice president, the presidency is a whole other ballgame.
二階屋の会の会長職は文字通り選ばれし役職だ。そこいらの学校の生徒会選挙とは違う。
そうなの？
立候補者になるだけでも難しい。だから二階屋の会では会長が不在で、副会長が仕切る年度の方が多い。
Oh, interesting.
八重垣くんの言う通り、立候補するだけで4つの難関を越えなくてはならないからね。
Four trials? What even is this? I raise my hand and count down on my fingers.
一つはクラスで中間期末試験どちらかにおいて最も優秀な成績を収めなくてはならない。二つは現二階屋の会のメンバー2名以上からの推薦を受けること。三つは教職員からも1名以上の推薦を受ける。そして最後の難関、教職員及び二階屋の会から選出された5名の審査員の前で討論会を行い、4名以上の支持を得なければならない。
Right, and when we don't find someone suitable, then we dump all the responsibilities on the shoulders of just one person, who's the vice president. Like, that person gets to do all the work, doesn't even get the title of being president. Ugh. There's a sword and stone trident. Yeah, I guess. Might as well throw that in. I take a gulp of coffee to moisten my throat after my explanation.
人見知りするスオ君には無理だろうと突きつけた条件だが、
副会長の場合は違うの？
確か生徒3名以上からの推薦があれば立候補できるって話したぜ。ま、立候補しても選挙で学院の2分の1以上の賛成票が入らなければ。
そう聞くと会長って立候補するだけでも大変なのね。
Her gaze is more suspicious than impressed. Like, she can't believe that I could have passed all those trials 1 year prior.
僕が優秀なことに驚いたかい？
I ask her jokingly and she nods candidly.
いつも成績は花火師さんがトップだったけど、少し前にあった期末試験は白羽さんが一番だったものね。
全教科でオールトップだったからな。私や委員長の立つ瀬がなかったぜ。
Go, Suo. Wow.
エリカは永遠の3番手でしょ。
英語は毎回私の方が上だったんだよ。
She shoots her Amitia partner a glare, then looks back to me.
一つ目の難関はクリアだ。二つ目の難関、推薦を受けるために二階屋の会のメンバーと交渉してるって話したが。
Her eyes are asking me whether this is true. Meeting her gaze, I nod.
僕が推薦するのはなしだが、他の二階屋の会の子たちへとロビー活動しているというのは。
本気みたいだな。
She mutters to herself. Then, after gazing out at the wintry moon for a spell.
腹が減った。千鳥が作ったサンドイッチが食べたい。
Are you throwing Chidori out of the room again? Takasaki rolls her eyes but acquiesces.
食材に文句をつけるのはなしよ。
フルーツサンドじゃなかったら何でもいい。
それが文句をつけるっていうのよ。
That counts as complaining.
文句じゃなくて注文だよ。ベーコンがあればなおいい。
Although she mutters about how useless her Amitia partner is, she asks me if I want anything. Then, when I shake my head, leaves the room. After the door has closed behind her, we both stare at it for a long moment.
僕に何か話があるんだね。
Yep. Poor Chidori. Just like being thrown out of the room, like, you need to not be here, go.
わかりますか。
こういうシチュエーションも2度目だからね。で、聞きたいのはスオ君のことかい？
Her brows furrow at my question and she squints off into the middle distance.
違うのかい？
そいつも聞きたいところですが、
Protag only
別に
meeting?
質問をするために千鳥を遠ざけたんじゃありません。
Chidori is a protagonist too?
一つ
What?
忠告をしておきたくてね。
Advice? I've had a similar conversation with her in this room once before.
聞こう。
佐々木凛吾と付き合っているのでしょ？
Caught red-handed. I had an inkling. But even so, I'm still taken aback. To think our secret could have been found out so soon. Feign ignorance confirm her suspicions. I mean, there's no point in feigning ignorance, I would say. Yes, confirm. Okay. I peer into her feline eyes, the windows to her inner room.
君は本当に面白い友人だよ。
I tell her.
足はダメでも頭はそう悪くない。
She gives her thighs a slap and I smile.
忠告か。
I'd be on guard if she phrased it as a warning, but since it's advice, it must be coming from a place of kindness. Right, right.
今からめんどくさい話を聞かされるんですよ。
僕を思ってのことなのだろ？なら悪くない。
For a split second, I think I catch a blush staining her cheeks before her usual cat-like smile returns.
私が佐々木妹のことを知っていて驚いているんでしょうが、こいつはみんなが知っている流行りの噂話ってわけじゃない。
君だけが知っている？
いいや、私一人じゃない。おっと、そう睨まなくとも千鳥でもないですよ。私の口はそう軽くないんでね。
Then, I have an idea of who could have found out.
佐々木いちごくんかい？
I ask.
正解です。白船あたりを行ってくると思いましたが、さすがですね。
もしスオ君が秘密を探り当てた相手なら。
She'd have no need to put herself forward for the student council elections.
いや、 それは彼女を冒涜しているか。
Are you saying she would blackmail you with that to give her information about Mairi? Suo wouldn't do that. What the heck?
一番身近な相手だ。気づかれないってのはなかなか難しい。佐々木姉はああいうやつだがバカじゃない。
どうしてと尋ねていいかい？
周りに二人での密会がバレないように手紙でやり取りしていたでしょ。悪くないが証拠の残る連絡手段は悪。
いちごくんが手紙を目にしたのだね。
Regret blooms inside my chest. My mood darkens as I imagine Ichigo-kun reading our letters and realizing I'm dating her sister when she herself asked me out too.
私は様子がおかしいあいつから無理やり聞き出したんだが、遠からずみんなへバレますよ。
君は責めないのだね。
遠からずとは言ったが、なるべくうまくやった方がいい。
What is she implying? It won't be long now before everyone else knows too. I don't think she would like go around telling people, even if she is like sad. She concludes without answering my question. Her demeanor makes it clear that she has no more to say on the matter. However, you should be careful. Like her previous warning, those words also serve as a judgment. Heeding my friend's advice, I decreased the frequency of our dates and changed our meeting place to my room. My media partner left the academy a while back. It was also more safe from my zealous fans who seemed to feel that invading the privacy of my room would be a step too far. I hadn't told Ringo that Ichigo-kun knew about our relationship, partly because I wanted to spare her feelings and partly due to my own contemptible inability to face up to it. Then, my inescapable feelings demanded their recompense. Okay. I don't remember what served as the trigger. Maybe it was simply that the chat we'd been enjoying over dinner had petered out, the silence between us pregnant. Maybe it was Ringo's reaching out to wipe an eyelash from my cheek, our eyes meeting. Some small thing like that. But it doesn't matter how small the spark was. Ringo gazed at me, then closed her eyes, tilting her head and her small sweet lips up to me ever so slightly. Seeking out my compensation, I had no reason to stop it happening.
Ringo.
It's a hackneyed simile, but I was drawn to her like a moth to a flame. Hearing the sound of the door opening, I slowly raised my head. Who just enters this room without knocking? What? There, standing in the entrance. Her voice like a judge's sentence. Sweat formed on my brow as the silence stretched out between us. You should be careful. My cat-like friend's words echoed in my ears like a curse. Aware that the thin yet tangible membrane between us was impossible to penetrate. Oh gosh. I knew then that I had lost my one and only true friend. Oh, what a mess. What a mess. Okay. Okay. That's my cue for tonight. We leave it there. Sorry. I guess the ending of this will be picking up the mess somehow. Somehow. Some manner that I cannot envision right now. Yeah, thanks for being here. Wow. It's not like I expected things to go Yuzuriha's way. I actually was not from the very beginning, but I did not expect them to turn this badly. Thanks for the pain. Oh gosh. Well, thanks for being here to share it. Oh, okay. Well, I guess we will see where this is going next time. We should be reaching the end, more or less, right? At least of this route, I mean. Wherever this goes, because I can't imagine right now. I don't know, I have no words. When I read this game, I was in a very similar position as Yuzuriha, so this game is very evil for me. Oh, I'm sorry, Chidorin. Bad bats, bad bats. Oh. Bad bats. The recital plus confession kills me every time. Oh. Hugs and pet pets. Please hang in there. It's okay. You're here with all of us. This can't hurt you. You're past it. Well, I guess we will take some time until Tuesday to recover from this. And maybe find some semblance of hope for the future. Yeah. There's gotta be some, pathway to move forward. There always is. And experiences like these, while they might sting and hurt in the moment, they should always be looked like in hindsight as lessons for life, because you always have something to learn from it and ways to grow from it, and make the best out of a bad thing. Because there's not much else you can do with it. Patron Saint Byrne smiles in heaven. I'm sorry, Chidori. Hang in there. It's all okay. Yeah, thank you so much for being here. Without yeah, I don't have anything else to add. I don't know what else to say. It's been a lot. Let's recoup. Let's absorb this. Come back refreshed on Tuesday. Until then, take care of yourselves. Have a nice, relaxing weekend. And yeah, see you next time. Bye bye. Kisses.